Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to Pinky Hooks. I am Shania Lancaster, and I would like to say thank you very much for tuning into this special edition of Pinky Hooks. This is known as the Pinky Promise. For those of you who are new to my channel and you have not been with me long, the Pinky Promise was started last year, 2023, at this time. Today marks the 1 year completion of Barb's passing. This is the anniversary. Barbara Hirzel was a subscriber of mine when there was no one else around outside of my family, friends, and coworkers. I never got to meet Barb. I never got a chance to talk to her on the phone. I've never heard her voice. But this lady was so dear and special to me. She saw from the very beginning, I don't know how, but she envisioned that this channel would grow and it would flourish. Barbara Hirzel believed in me. She believed in everything that I did. She believed that I had or possessed something that even I couldn't see. I made a promise to make one segment of a pink creation. Pink was Barb's favorite color. She loved anything pink. When the passing happened, I did about 2 segments. I basically dropped off because of the fact that most of 2023, it was a roller coaster. I didn't believe I was going to still remain on YouTube. I ran into some horrible ups and downs, and every time I tried to come back and get back into the groove, something would go wrong, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. During that course of me deciding whether I was going to stay, or during that course when I definitely had made an announcement that I was leaving, I just couldn't even bring myself to do the Pinky Promises anymore. There was so much going on. And my old subscribers, anybody who's been here with me during that time, you guys know what I'm talking about. Every time I got back on a bandwagon, something would go wrong. And with that said, it was just a very emotional time. It was an emotional roller coaster. But if you tuned in and you saw my introduction video for the new year, then you see that I made it by the grace of God. Barb was no coincidence, and it wasn't by luck that we crossed paths. I do believe that God places people in each one of our lives for a special season, even if it's just for a blink of an eye, a moment, a second, a minute. Someone can make that much of a difference. And she had an enormous impact on my life. She had an enormous impact on the fact that Pinky Hooks is still here on YouTube. So with that being said, I am back on track. And so today we pay tribute to Barb Hirzel. And I want to say thank you again. So we are going to get started with the pink creation, the first pink creation for 2024 in tribute to Barb. Okay, so let's go into it. As you guys have seen, that beautiful scarf that I created with the different shades of pink. Now, Barb loved pink, and from what I understand, she loved anything that was pink. I think she had a particular shade of pink, more like a cotton candy pink, but she really did enjoy pink. And so when I create, the Pinky Hooks, the Pinky Promise creations, this year I do want it to be not just straight cotton candy pink. I want to embrace all of the different shades of pinks. So with this is a little bit different, this scarf, as you can see, and I hope the lighting captures it. There are different shades of pink and they go into almost like an eggplant and some grays. But I figured this is something nice, okay? I hope that it kind of turns up pink. The lighting is kind of crazy. Maybe if I do this. So yeah, it's still really light pink. And even I have on my pink, but it's so light. I don't know if y'all can see the back. It's so light, like nobody can really see the pink. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this scarf before we get into the tutorial. So again, this scarf, it has different shades of pink, more so dusty rose, light pinks, some baby pinks in there, pastel pinks or whatever. And then the eggplant, anything from the purple family is kind of like born from the pink family. If you think about it, it just continues to grow into darker shades. So the reason why, I was so excited to do this, because if any of you had tuned into my last video where I was showing you my whips and I was showing you how to do, or basically I was showing you guys that scarf that I was making for a lady. She doesn't know that I'm making it for her. It was a purple scarf done in the velvet crush yarn. Now, what was so special about that scarf is that I have created that scarf using the corner to corner stitch. And so that's what I did. This is an actual corner to corner stitch, folks. And a lot of people have been waiting to see how I could show you guys how to actually do the corner to corner, but to get it into a rectangular form so that you're able to create a scarf. Yeah, so this is it. And let me tell you something, guys. I started this, and let me see, I started it on Sunday and finished it, on Tuesday. Yeah, that's it. I am really happy with this creation, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So we're going to jump into the specs of it all, and basically the yarn, the type of yarn, the hooks and everything. And then at the end, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about it, okay? So sit back, enjoy this moment, and let's see what Barb inspired me to do. For this project, I used the Lion Brand Mandalas Ombre cake. It has 344 yards in there, 100% acrylic. It is considered a 4-ply, but I beg to differ, and I will show you why. They are suggesting to use a size I hook, which is a 5.5, okay? This color is called Felicity. And of course, I chose it because it has different shades of pink. Now, again, we are on camera with different lighting, so it may come off on your screen as coral and you really don't see shades of pink, but in person, if you look it up online as well, you will see various shades of pink. What I liked about this is because it captured basically, more than one shade of pink. And so as you can see, you have your traditional pinks mixed in with kind of like a tie-dye look a little bit with white. And then it goes on to a lighter shade of pink, mixed in with white. And then this is more like a dusty rose, with traces of white in there. They actually did throw in a dark gray mixed with white. This right here is coming off as though it is purple, but like a light purple, like a royal purple. But if you see it in person, it has more of an eggplant shade to it, so that means it's darker. And then as you can see, you're going into the center and there are more shades of pink. So Barb loved pink. I am not sure if she just loved anything pink. I believe she loved all shades of pink, from what I remember her telling me and from what her husband Blair says. So this is the perfect, yarn to capture all of her love for anything pink. So with that said, I just wanted to let you guys know, again, they are recommending that we use an eye for this. And remember, when you are crocheting and you see the hook size, that does not mean that you can't use any other size. I personally am not going to use an eye. And because as you can see, I had already started pulling out yarn before I started recording. And I want to show you why I'm actually going to use a size H hook. I went down a size because I felt like the eye was way too big. See, they're saying that this is a 4-ply. That is more like a 3 to me. So I figured, well, I don't want like a lot of too much spaces in between my pillars and works, being that we're doing the corner to corner stitch. And so I wanted a tighter, a more uniformed look. And that is the reason why. Now, what you do is, if you want to have a more lacy look, then yes, I would suggest to use the recommended hook. But in this case, I'm going down a hook size. So with that said, we are going to go ahead and get started. All right. For the corner to corner, and I am doing the traditional corner to corner, which starts with a chain of 6. So make your magic ring or your slip knot, chain up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We want to work 1 double crochet into the 4th chain away from your hook. So count back 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. When you have skipped those first 3, that created your first double crochet. You then worked another one. So these, I call them pillars in each sector. Okay. So we have 2 left. You need to put 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. All right. So there, again, you guys know that I call these, some people call them blocks. I call them sectors. All right. So there's your first sector. To begin another sector, you need to chain up another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we want to repeat what we just did. Count 4 back, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to work 1 double crochet into that 4th stitch away from the hook. Okay, you have 2 more stitches. You see that? You have 1 and 2. And I can see this yarn splitting. Right there. Be careful. Okay, so now you have another sector. We need to connect them. They are trying to start a neighborhood. That's how I like to say corner to corner. So what you want to do is slip stitch. You went in between that pillar. Let me show you again. You flipped it over. You went in between the pillars. Right here. Pull up a loop, slip stitch it. There we go. Okay. So now since we've connected them, you want to chain up 3. 1, 2, and 3. But we need to start a new sector. So in between those pillars now, okay, this is going to count as 1 double crochet. You need to put in 3 double crochets. So insert your hook in between the pillar. That's 1. Oh, it's split. Okay, 1, 2, 3. We need to put in another one. Ooh, so this is my first time working with this yarn, splitting a lot. All right. All right. So now here we go. We have, it looks like a heart, like 3 sectors. You have 1, 2, and 3. So remember, with the corner to corner, once you get down to the end, right, there's nowhere else to go. So you need to start a new area. You know, basically you're prepping for your new sector to be built. So you will always chain up 6 when you get to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You are beginning a new sector. You're going to go ahead and put in 1 double crochet in that 4th chain, and then you have 2 more stitches, 1 and 2. So you need to do 2 more double crochets. All right, you have a new sector. He wants to join the block, so turn this work over and remember to go in between your pillar, okay, to slip stitch. Let him join the block, slip stitch, and now he's part of the subdivision. Chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, because we're going to build his house. Put in 3 more double crochets in between these pillars. Okay, join him. So his house is built. Now we're at the end of the block. Join him. Pull your work apart, right? You want to go in between that pillar by slip stitching because he needs to join. Okay, let them be neighbors. Chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. And put in 3 more pillars in between, or 3 more double crochets in between that pillar, right? 1, 2. Got a little bit of tangle there. And 3. All right, look at that. And this guy built a house on top of his house. There you go. This is what it's looking like, okay? All right, so what do? When we get to the end of the block, we want to do what? Chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay? Count back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put in your first double crochet. You got 2 more stitches you need to work a double crochet into. And then 1 more. It's usually hiding because people be like, no, I'm going into the actual next sector. No, you're not. You just need to stretch your work. Okay. Here's a new sector. He said, can I join your block? Turn your work over. And then they let him in. Slip stitch in between the pillars. And now he's ready. He bought his lot. He's going to build a little house. 1, 2, 3. Put in 3 more double crochets in between the pillars. Okay. So he's like, yay. Everybody's like, welcome to the block. Continue to work on expanding your division. That's how I like to look at corner to corner. Like, I'm just building houses. Everybody want to be on the block. Man, I got a serious tangle going on here. Hold on. Oh no. All right, so what, I got to do 2 more? Okay. And then he was just like, I need to connect to you at the end of the block. Slip stitch. Build on top of him. 1, 2, 3. Put in 3 double crochets in that space right there in between those pillars. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Man, look at that subdivision just really growing. Yeah? Okay. I'm going to stop right here, right? Because what I want you to do now is to continue to build up. So what I'm going to do, is build up more rows. Now, if you are confused, right, and you're like, well, how do I know which row I'm on? So we are going to, this is how you need to do it. You need to turn it diagonally for the corner to corner. Here's 1 row. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. And if you're like, Shania, I can't tell, what you might want to do that will help you when you're dealing with corner to corner is you count your sectors on the side. So if you see, like when I say the sectors, you remember when I told y'all before in the corner to corner world, and I call these sectors, is because each sector goes, every other sector goes the opposite direction. So let me see if I can zoom in and get this close as possible so that you understand what I'm saying. Y'all see, and I know it's a light pink. Okay, here we go. See how those pillars right there are going vertical? Stretch out the word. Those pillars are going vertical, but look at the next sector. It's going horizontal, right? The next sector above that is going vertical, then horizontal. That's how you know what row you're on. This is my philosophy. This is Shania-ism, okay? That means that's just what Shania thinks. So I say 1, 2, right? 3, 4. So that tells you that you're on the 4th row. Does that make sense, folks? So that's how you know in the corner to corner world. Because people, be like, is this 1? Is this 2? Is this 3? Is 4? Technically it is, right? But it kind of confuses people. So I always say, if you count your sectors, you will know what row you're on. Again, you say 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you're on 4th row. Okay? So I am going to work my rows and I'm going to stop at a certain point so that I can begin to show you how do you form a rectangle, to get a scarf for a corner to corner. Okay. So basically, I am going to stop here because we are going to begin to learn how to make a corner to corner in a rectangular shape so that you are able to create something like a scarf. Now, the last time that I was telling you guys how to count your rows, I was saying if you want an easy way, right, you just count the sectors, right? So we left off at 4. But here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here is the 10th. So that means I'm on row 10. And I'm going to connect this like I normally do with the slip stitch. I'm going to build my last sector on top of that one, which will begin row 11. We're going to stop here for a second. So the reason why I wanted to come back and show you what to do, I told you guys to continue, to go for a certain, amount of time, but I really did not tell you guys at where to stop. Now, first things first, if you're going to use this yarn, right, and that size hook, if you want the exact replica as far as like the width and the length, you are going to follow me down to a T right now. How you get a rectangular shape is, the theory is to keep increasing on one side, but begin to decrease on another. So I have established the width of my scarf. I'm not a fan of fat scarves, meaning like, wide width scarves. I like long and skinny, or, like a medium width. This is a good width for me. That's how I like my scarves. So I'm going to stop here. And when you say, Shai, what do you mean by stopping here? That means I have now established my width. I've established my width down here. The name of the game now is to grow the scarf up, right? Which will then be focusing on the length of your scarf. So with that said, we have a total, let's count them again. At the bottom, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that makes sense because remember when I just added that little guy on there, I literally was at 10 right here, then I added him on, and then that's going to make 11. So you're like, okay, so Shine, you're on 11 rows. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to build up again. I mean, there's two different ways I can go. I could literally say, okay, well, I can begin the decrease here and then continue the increase up, right? But I want my layers to go a certain pattern, or should I say my colors to go a certain way. So with that being said, what I'm going to do, or you're going to do, right, is I'm going to continue. I'm going to do another increase. And when you're doing an increase in corner to corner, somebody says another increase, that means you're still doing the traditional of chaining 6 and creating a sector to connect to your existing work, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Nothing new. We've been doing this all along. Count back 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your single crochet into that 4th stitch from the hook. Okay, remember there's a new sector. Just like you've been doing, turn your work, connect it with a slip stitch. And basically by me building on top of that, I'm saying that my left side is going to be the side that I continue to increase. You're still going to go through the whole entire process. We're going to go through the process like we have been. Chain up 3. You're going to work sectors all the way across like you have been. right? Sometimes I go too fast and then I find I only put like 2 double crochets into a sector and have to go back because I start getting really comfortable. Almost at the end. Keep going, building your sectors, adding on to your block. Your subdivision is growing quite nicely. Me and my corny antics or my corny ideology. I don't know. Is that an ideology? I guess Shania isms. I'll pull some more thread here. I really want to go super duper fast, but I don't want nobody putting in the comments like, you're going too fast. Unsubscribed. That's what I've seen people do that to other people. Like before I had a channel, I don't know who it was that I was watching. It was a long time ago. And the lady, she couldn't help herself. She was a fast crocheter. And I can understand some of the frustration that some of the people who were watching, especially because they were new, to the crochet world. And I'll never forget somebody, I'm assuming it was a lady because it was a lady's name. And I don't even think she got like maybe past the first 20 minutes of the video, maybe 15 minutes in, and I saw her comment, and she was just like, did you ever stop to think, that you're going too fast? How is anybody supposed to learn? She said, unsubscribed. And I was thinking people make me laugh when they make an announcement when they're going to unsubscribe. Like, dude, this is like I saw on social media. This ain't no airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Just look, if you want to leave, just leave, man. That is too funny. And y'all know I'm telling the truth. Tell the truth, shame the devil. And people always be like, unsubscribed. I'm unsubscribed for you now. Okay, just exit. We don't need to know. Okay. Look, I just figured I'd tell y'all the story while y'all was watching me crochet. Okay, so again, remember, I had flipped this side. Let me flip it back over. This is my increase side, right? Because I've established my width, so I need to turn that back over. So now we are here at the end, okay? This is where we begin our decrease. You're going to slip stitch like you normally do, right? But instead of building on top of that, we're just going to turn our work, the whole entire piece around. Now begin your decrease. And what that means is, you see, we turned it around. We're not building on top of this piece anymore. We have established that is it. That's about as wide as I want to go. And now I'm just going to slip stitch my way, right? All the way back over. Now you can go in the stitch. I'm going to tell y'all this again. Y'all can go in the stitch, or you can go in between the pillars when it comes to slip stitching back over. I just prefer to go into the stitch. And now I've reached, okay, look at that. I've reached, back over to the end of this sector. So I'm going to slip stitch in between the pillars so I can begin my work. slip stitch. Now, just go ahead and you can start to build again, but you're just building it sideways. We're not building on top of that. This is what we call the decrease. You see how now, because you did that decrease, you see, look, you got a clear cut edge. Look, you got a clear, so this is the bottom. So in other words, this is the bottom of the scarf, or I guess, the top of the scarf, whatever. So you will continue to decrease. Every time you get down to this side, you're going to decrease. And so now we go back to doing what we do best, build houses. Chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Put your 3 double crochets in there. All right. Ain't nothing changed. All right. Slip stitch into the next house. Chain up 3. Put 3 double crochets. That's it. Do this all the way until we get to the end, and I'll meet you back. Because I'm pretty sure y'all want to hear me talk about another story. And so now here we are again at the end. But remember, this is the increase side. And you can tell, because look, you've already established your corner. There it is. So you will know, okay? So since we're back on the increase side, this is the last sector. Connect to that sector using a slip stitch. Build your house, 1, 2, 3. Put in 3 more double crochets. Okay. So remember, you're building up. So let's look at this now. Like, okay, I got my little, my block. And now we're just going to change from houses. This is my little terminology, y'all. We're going to change the terminologies and we're going to build a skyscraper. So skyscrapers do what? They go up, right? They don't go wide. No, they go up. So you build on top, just like we did before, by chaining up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Count back. Because you're building a sector. So now I'm going to change my terminology. We're making an apartment. Always got to get into that last one. Here we go. All right, flip your work like you did before. All right, slip stitch into that next sector and begin to just build your little apartments. Chained up 3 and put in 3. Oops, sorry y'all. 3 double crochets. I got a little excited there. My hands went happy. Okay, so I am almost near my decrease end again. So here's another sector. I definitely need to work that one. All right, so look, We are here again at the decrease end. So you want to slip stitch to your next door neighbor. That's it. We don't need to go up. Turn your work. Remember, you're on a decrease end. You will slip stitch all the way back over. Do it nice and light, not too tight, because you don't want it to be all snug and jacked up right there, okay? Just slip stitch your way across. Again, you can do in between the pillars. I just prefer to do in the stitch. That way I know that I haven't done too many. And now I'm right there. Slip stitch in between the pillar. Okay. See, you are decreasing on that side. You just decreased actually. And then again, you can start to build your units again. Chain up 3 and put in 3 double crochets to that sector below. Okay, so let's stop here for a minute so I can kind of like go back over the rules for this, okay? So again, I have established my width. That was the reason why that I started decreasing on one side, right? But every time I got to this end, I am still building up. Why am I still building up? Number one, I have not established my length of my scarf yet. But I definitely established the width. So this is no longer my concern down here as far as your width goes. It is just now the question becomes, how long do I want my scarf to be? And I love long scarves. I just do. You know, I've never been a fan of short scarves. Probably on men, I think I like short scarves sometimes, but women, I don't know. I just like long scarves. So I'm just going to make mine as long as I want. Now, I will come back because once I establish the very length, like, okay, I'm happy with the length, that's when I'm going to start decreasing on the length side as well, you know, as I've been decreasing already established on the width side. That's when it's going to come together, because once you get to the, I'm going to use my terminology here. Once I get to the very, very tippy top, meaning the length I want, the penthouse, then I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, now I need to start to bring them all together to build, you know, my little skyscraper. I know y'all like, Shine, stop using this terminology. It's fun, man. Okay, so do you guys understand the concept now? That's how you get a rectangle. And if you wanted it narrower, remember, getting a rectangle versus a actual square like we did in the color block blanket, you know, it's because you are in the color block blanket, you wanted a square, you had to increase and decrease at the same time. Or should I say, once you began to decrease, right, you had to do it on both ends. That's to get a perfect square. But if you're wanting a rectangle, it is all you're doing is just continuing to increase on one side, decrease on the other. And then once you establish your length of your rectangle, then you can begin decreasing on that side. But only you will know. So now what I have to leave you guys up to decide is, do you want, right, to do the actual length that I'm doing, or do you want to do a different length? Because if you want a shorter one, then you're going to stop increasing and start decreasing on both sides long before I will, right? And that's how it's going to go. So I'm going to do more rules. I'm just going to go ahead, build my scarf. And then we're going to meet back here at the very end so that I can like kind of just show you how it's going to come together and how it will close. Because I think a lot of people will be like, they might get excited because of the fact that they're learning how to decrease. But what happens with people is that they start thinking ahead. And that's where people mess up. They start thinking like, wait, how is this going to come together? And am I going to constantly have these steps? I mean, look at this. This is genius. If you putting it like this, yeah, it's straight and narrow, but look, it's like little staircases, like the stairway to heaven. That's what we're doing. We're just going to continue to build the stairway to heaven to get a nice long scarf. And that's how we're going to do it. Oh God, did my East Coast just come out? That the way I said scarf. Ooh. Anyway. So I'm going to meet you guys back when pretty much this is done. So I am still working on the length of the scarf, but as you guys can see, it has some length to it already. I just measured this with my tape measurer, and right now, okay, on this side, right, all the way through, this is already measured at 48 inches. Now, I am at the end of my first cake, and remember, this cake has 344 yards. So I measured here because this is the length. This is what I'm still working on. This was, the decrease side. So it was important for me to let you guys know that if you follow this one cake, okay, using the size hook that I'm using, will get you to 48 inches. Now, you can stop, you can make your scarf shorter, but I prefer long scarves. That's just me. So basically, I have one more cake. I am going to use that cake. I'm not going to even be using a quarter of that, to establish the final length that I wanted. I normally like my scarves probably around maybe 54 to 56 inches. I am a fan of long scarves, and so that I can, wrap it around maybe once or twice. But I'm going to go a little bit further. I just wanted to stop for a moment to show you the actual length that I have right now. Now, as you can see, these colors are working up they're working up very beautifully. So I'm going to stop and continue. And then the next time that I meet you guys back to show you how to close up your scarf, then, we'll just complete it together. Okay, guys, so I think I got the length that I wanted. I'm about to measure this again while I'm actually before I show you guys how to start to do the finishing. Let's see. Now you can't see the other end because this is about as far as I can zoom out, but I want to see where I am at. So 50. This actually is 50. And I know that I said that I normally like it somewhere, what did I say, between 54 and 58, or is usually I would say I go up to around 56. But 50 is good. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to stop at 50, because I plan on adding fringes to this scarf. So that's going to give it the extra length, right? So now keep in mind that this is not blocked yet. So I'm saying this is 50, right? I've gotten it to 50 inches long, right? Without it being blocked, because we all know that if you block your work, it's going to stretch it. So without the fringes, let's say I was to block this, I would say I probably would gain another, maybe another inch after being blocked. I think I would. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to, decrease, and then so that we can close up this scarf, and then we can go ahead and proceed to add the fringes on. All right. Okay. So here we are again, right? We're on the long side so that y'all can see we're on the long side. Here is the decreasing side that we have been working. So in order for you to start bringing this up, this side, hold on, let me push this aside. In order for you to bring this side up to par here, you have to stop growing this side. That's how you get the rectangle shape. That's how we were getting our length. You know, yes, this side was growing, but we had stopped increasing. So if that makes sense, we stopped building units like, you know, on top, okay? Because we were just turning around and we would just slip stitch over, you know, until we could start building, you know, like new sectors. Whereas this side, that was when every time we got to the end, we kept increasing by chaining up 6 and then adding a sector and then turning the work and adding adding on to the existing work. So now it's time to stop because I've gotten the length that I want. And so basically, if y'all remember, how do we do a decrease? All I'm going to do now is just simply, instead of, you know, me getting here and then building on top of this sector right here, all I'm going to do is do my normal slip stitch in between the pillars. I'm slip stitching and now I'm just going to turn my work. It's a lot to turn around now. Turn my work and slip stitch right all the way over until I get in between the first set of pillars. I'm slip stitching, right? Remember, you can go either in the actual stitch or you can go in between your pillars. I prefer to go into the stitch. It just looks neater to me. And then once I get to, now I'm in between. Here's my sector. And I'm going to go in between those pillars, slip stitch, and now chain up 3. Right? And now, just like you've been doing, I'm going to build my sector by putting in 4 double or 3 double crochets, because remember that chain 3 was considered 1 double crochet. Now, here we go. So remember, this was the length side, and now by me just stopping there, slip stitching back over, and I still have to connect that one, it now has a real corner, okay? So then you continue to work your work like you have been. Okay, this part is nothing new. You guys, if you've been following along with me, you are already like, oh, Pinky, that's old news. We know how to do that. Okay, good. Okay, so let's stop for a moment there. So, okay, there you have it. So remember, this was our length side. We have now started doing the decrease, and it is, you know, we just cut it off. We just cut it off. We said we're tired of growing this. We're satisfied with it, and we cut it off. So basically, you are now, you know, once you get down here, excuse me, once you get down here, you know, you've been, you know, like just turning around, slip stitching across, you know, or whatever. And then once you go back up, you're doing the same thing. You're doing your decrease. So work this back and forth, and next thing you know, it will come to, not in the middle, but it probably come to like right around here, where we will end up closing the work off completely. So what I want you to do is just keep going back and forth. You are no longer doing any increases anywhere. It is strictly decreasing on both sides now. Both sides, okay? I will meet you back here right around the time when it's time for us to close up, continue to work your work, and I will just meet you guys back here, okay? All right, folks, so as you can see, I don't have that far to go. It is coming along nicely. One of the things that I like about the corner to corner is that, you know how when you get real happy that you're about to see the light at the end of the tunnel with your projects? And with the corner to corner, like the anticipation just grows when you realize you are almost like it. I mean, you really can see the finish line because it just, it just starts going like super duper fast. So I figured I'd turn this around, and I have to control the end of the scarf because it's so long. So turning it gets a little crazy. So that's how much more I still have to go. And I figured I was just like, let me just go ahead and just crochet along and just chat with them as I'm slip stitching my way back over. Yeah, this is my favorite part. I love it. Y'all should see me, because when I'm off camera and I start seeing that I'm about to, that closure is about to come up, I just start going berserk in speed. And I know y'all probably like, that's a different hook than what you were using in the very beginning. It is, because sometimes when I am crocheting, depending on how long I'm crocheting on a project, right? The handles, they sometimes certain handles will irritate, like right here in the palm, and so I'll have to switch the hooks so that I'm able to continue to go. But all right, so let me see. Now I can join that together. Right? Slip stitch, turn my work. Oh boy. So basically, okay, here we go. So I know it's blurry when I put it down. I have the lens fixed. So we have gotten this straight edge, right? So when I slip stitch back over, I only have to fill in that area. So that's basically building one sector. So let's go ahead. With delight, slip stitch our way to the very end. I am feeling victorious right now, you guys. Chain up my last 3. Build my last sector, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's the last sector. By putting in 3 double crochets. Let's see if that's the last one. Oh, it is. Ta-da! And you're going to slip stitch, folks. Remember, so just like everything else that you've been doing, slip stitch in between that pillar. Slip stitch, pull all the way through. What is that? Ha ha! Yes. So basically, I got my slip stitch here, okay? And what I normally will do is, now I want you to see if y'all can see that I've slip stitched into the pillar, but now I'm going to slip stitch in the actual work just to seal it off. And I'm going to do it loosely because we don't want to do it too tight and then, mess it up. So, and then once I've done that, I want to slip stitch again over, somewhere into another stitch. In the stitch, folks, in the stitch. Okay. And pull that just a little snug, and And then I'm going to pull this a long tail because I want to sew that work in to secure it. There we go. Get your scissors. Oh. Pull that out. And I'm going to get my, what do you call that? I was about to say get my needle, but let me see something because I have an idea. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and now slip stitch backwards till I get to the end and leave that hanging. Why? Because we're going to now put on fringes. So let me stop this camera, rezoom or zoom back out a little bit so we can see, go over a couple of things before we start adding the fringes. Okay, folks, so we have actually closed this off, and as you can see, you have this nice long rectangle. It just goes on and on and on. Oh, wait a minute. Whew, I almost panicked. I was just like, oh, God, I hope I didn't mess up. I forgot. This is where I got loose last night because I started falling asleep. But anyway, as you can see, it just goes on and on and on and on. Again, you didn't have to make it as long as I made mine. But, the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and block my work because, it's sometimes you're like, well, Sharon, wait, did you miss stitches? It is the straightest that you will ever get from a corner to corner. And the reason why it's so straight is because I used a size hook that of course we all know the smaller the hook, the smaller the work will be, and the bigger the hook, the bigger the stitch will show up. And so I really wanted a real close knit, compact, I would say compact look of the corner to corner. And so, yeah, now normally, like in our last project that the project that we're all currently doing, which is the corner to corner color block blanket, I talk about putting edging on there. When I do scarves with the corner to corner stitch, I do not put edging all around the scarf. Why? Because I don't know, for some reason, it comes out way, straighter. And I think it's just because of, me using smaller hooks or whatever. But yeah, it comes out just straighter, and it's going to look even better once I go ahead and block it, because like anywhere where there's narrow, like is kind of going in and stuff like that, I will stretch it out with a pin on the blocking board, or my ironing board rather, and then let it set, and it'll be perfect. Now I can't, I'm just like, look at it, it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Yes, I am like really, really happy with this. So I am not good at fringes, y'all. I don't think I've really ever, I think I might have done one project with fringes, and that might have been long before I even had a YouTube channel. So, give me one moment. Okay, so there is a method to my madness. So this is like a little hobby box that I, put certain things in. And so basically, as you can see, the width of this box, it's a pretty good size box. And so basically I just wrap it all the yarn all the way around the box. Yup. I'm telling you this, and this is experimenting. And what I did was I kept wrapping the box until I got to the next color, because what I plan on doing is taking the color that we ended in on, that we actually did the closure on. I am going to take the rest of that color out of my cake, right? I'm going to cut this, and that's going to be on the fringes for this color will be on this end, the pink side, right? And then, as you can see, the color has started changing. Hold on. This lighting. So then the color started going to pink. So then my lighter color, or I think it's this color right here, is going to end up being on that side. Yup, that's what I'm going to do. I literally am playing Frankenstein right now. Yup, and I am just going to find somewhere and just cut one time. I really hope this is going to work, y'all. This is crazy. I'm just gonna, you know what, and just to keep it, hold on, so y'all can see what I'm doing. I hope all y'all out there in TV land is not, y'all probably laughing y'all behinds off like, what is she doing? Oh man, hold on. Some of them didn't cut through. Ta-da! Look. What? Look at that. French City, baby. Ha! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, okay. Hold on. Let me put this aside. So now I got the right, I got this color, for that side. Yep. So it's going to go down there. And then what I'm going to do is, and I don't even know how many this make, because if y'all like, well, Pinky, how do you know you have how many strands you have? I don't know how many strands I have, but I feel like that should be enough, because once I hook it, right, it's going to, oh yeah. I'm not like the biggest fringe person. Now let's see if I know what I'm doing. All right. Put that out the way. Let's grab one of these fringes here. And I don't know if you do them like 2 at a time. Let's do 2 at a time. No, let's do 3 at a time. Let's see. So, okay. There's a method. I'm just going to stick that through. I'm gonna start talking again, y'all. I'm literally experimenting on camera on how I'm going to do this. Right? And if it turns out right, then I'll start talking again, like telling y'all what to do. In the meantime, just give me a second. Normally, I would not allow y'all to see me while I'm in my mode of trying to figure it out. Okay, I think I got it. All right, here we go. So I'm taking 3 or 4. Hold on, let me make sure they're all, and we're going to trim these anyway. If y'all like, Cheyenne, like, how do you know? Now it's just a question of where to place them. And I'm thinking we're going to place them in between each sector. So what you do is you put your hook up in between each sector. Let's kind of go over this. Hold on, let me zoom in. Okay, so again, we already know what sectors are, or what Pinky Hooks calls them. So I'm going to go in between the next one. I put my hook up like that, put my fringes on there. You might need a bigger hook, but I'm just using the pull it through. Okay. And then wrap your fringes around. Sorry, that's from the one over. Hold on. Make sure you're not gathering the ones that you already done. Yeah, I might need a bigger hook, y'all. Or maybe not. Hold on. It's just, I got skills. And then pull it all the way through. Tie a knot. Like this. Okay, let me see what that look like. Okay. And I may go back on in between and kind of fill it in, but let me keep playing around with this a little bit, and then yeah. Let me just play around with it. Okay, so I'm still putting my fringes on, y'all, but what I'm going to do, instead of doing like one side, only one color, I want to kind of bring all the colors together, well, as much as I can. So I went back and I still haven't trimmed it because I don't want y'all like, Shine, that looks a hot mess. Y'all saw the finished product. It's not going to be a hot mess. So what I did, basically what I'm doing is, any place where I have like big, gaps. Sorry, the lighting is still off. Here we go. Where I have large gaps, I'm just going in and I'm filling in. Like I was placing fringes in between each like pillar that separated a sector, right? But now what I'm doing is I'm going back in. So for instance, okay, this sector, let me see. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm going in kind of like in the middle of a sector. I want it nice and full before I start trimming it. And that's what I'm doing. So again, this is your scarf, is up to you, but I figure it would kind of bring balance, this is why I hate fringes. I have one scarf with fringes, but nevertheless, yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just literally going in. If y'all want to see that technique again, I'm taking like 3 to 4, just depends on, uh, the space that I'm trying to fill up. So all I'm doing is, so in this case right here, let me bring that light in a little bit better. Okay. And not to mention, I have to go back and tie a knot in all of these to secure it. But I literally, now I'm in between. Hold on. Like that at the bottom. And I'm just wrapping them around, pulling it through, kind of like a latch hook. You know what? And I got a whole bunch of latch hooks. That probably would have been better. And then pulling all the strands through and pull it tight. And that's what I'm doing. I want to make it nice and full, but not bulky. So once you're done, right, putting on your fringes, right, then I will come back, and then I'm just going to go ahead and trim it. And this is the reason why, and I'm going to block my fringes because, when your fringes are nice and straight, it just looks better. Yeah? Okay, I'll be back. Now, so I've begun the blocking process, and all I'm going to do, since this is a narrow scarf, is I'm just going to use my ironing board. Now, don't laugh, but I'm actually just going to use a comb. I'm combing my tassels. It's just to straighten them out so that I can just iron over them. Because with tassels, or fringes rather, you can't pin it down, so you can't block it, right? Well, you can block it by ironing it. So I have my iron on a low setting, and I am just steaming it. For those of you who are not really used to blocking your work, I normally use my ironing board and I just steam it. And this is easy because this is narrow. That's it. I just move along. And if you have your iron on the right setting, you literally can just iron it with steam, and that's considered blocking. I'm just stretching it out, making it even, nice and smooth. And remember, see, when it's wet, you can literally just stretch it. Now, I could put pins in this, but I'm not going to. I've already done the other side. And if you look, you see, my fringes are nice and straight. So now basically what I'm just going to do is just go ahead, bring it back to the crafting table, comb it out a little bit more, and then I'm going to get a ruler and I am just going to go ahead and cut my fringes, even it off, and then we're going to wrap this up. Okay, I'm still combing my fringes, y'all. So now, since I've blocked it, I've lined up both sides, right? underneath. The other side is underneath. And I'm just trying to make it as straight as possible and even as possible before I go cutting. Again, this is my method. You do not have to do this. I'm going to use a ruler, and I like my ruler because, as you can see, it's clear. So I can kind of line it up, and I'm going to say I'm going to start here. Make sure it's nice and even. Now, I should have it probably would be better if I had a cutting board, but as you guys can see, I don't. And this is not, you know what, I might need to get the other scissors. This is not going the way I want it to. This is going to be hard, man. Oh my goodness. I'm be cutting forever, y'all. Oh. Oh wait, it's doing it. Yeah, I don't have to really be trimming this. Let's see if I can go back to the other scissors, because I'm trying to hold this down really, really tight. Oh boy. I guess probably what I should have did was like put it up like that. Da, 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 da. God, if my mom is looking at this, she's like, what is this girl doing? It's still straight, y'all. It's still straight. It's just that I gotta go back and do this. I gotta pause. Man, this has taught me a lesson. You know what I need? I need one of those cutters, you know, like, I think y'all know what I'm talking about, like the round cutters. And I really do need a cutting board. This was a slow process. I actually had to stop the camera because I was just like, I had to get up on the other side. That didn't work. And I was like, Sean, this is just going to be slow. Because I'm pressing really hard down on this ruler. And I'm just taking it little by little. I can't use the other scissors. Man, Barbara's probably up in pink heaven looking down on me like, bless her little heart. I'm struggling. Woo. Yeah. This is, you know, and I mean, ain't nobody gonna walk. I mean, this is still pretty straight. You know, I'm just trying to clean up the little edges, and I can, you know, I'm just cleaning them up. Because if anybody try to walk up to me and be like, you know what? Let me measure that. Your stuff is uneven. First of all, nobody should be that close to me anyway. You know? That'd be my luck too. Somebody walk up to me and be like, that stuff's uneven. Shoot. I'll be like, you know what? Get away from me. Yeah, I'm about to stop this. I'm about to stop this foolishness right now. I keep saying I'm gonna stop, and this is good enough, but I can't help myself. Yeah, I just want this thing nice because I'm really liking how this turned out. Yeah, I'm gonna be making a trip this weekend back to my local Joann's to go get the proper cutter, because I could have just been like, you know, if I had that cutter. And I always, every time I go in there, I'll be like, man, I don't need that. I need to stop, you know, saying that. 52 years on this earth, and I still have not learned that the minute that you say something like, oh, I don't need that, you know, that the universe does something and be like, dang, I wish I had got it. I know I really should stop doing this. I know y'all like pinky stop, but I can't help it. Now I see how people be getting, like when women go in for a trim and the hairdresser can't stop cutting. And then they come out there with a bowl cut. They went to go get their edges trimmed and then they just end up getting all their hair. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be perfect, y'all. Okay. That's that's good enough. What? Look at that. See? That one right there, y'all. Just get that little piece off right there. Okay. Ooh. Wait a minute. Just get that. Okay. Okay. Okay, and this one too. Oh, wait. This one too. I just want to be perfect. Ooh. Just right here. Look, probably everybody is about to leave live from the chat. Be like, I'm tired of watching this. Okay. Oh, just this piece, and then I'm really done. I'm just trying to clean it up, y'all. Whew. Oh my goodness. I'm telling y'all right now, Barb is in pink heaven, cracking up right now. She is just like, that poor child. Woo, but okay. Now let's look. Ooh. Oh, that's still a little uneven. I was about to say, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh, I'm really liking how this turned out. Do. Okay, I'm serious. I'm gonna stop. I can go back and do, clean this up since this turned out to be an obsession. And there you have it. Looky. There we are. I need, dang it. I need one of them crazy looking mannequins. Hold on, y'all. That turned out nice. That really turned out nice, y'all. And now, I feel like I don't want to mess up my hair. So we got the fringes. It turned out really, really nice. I feel like I could have put another set right there. But that is it. That is the first official Pinky Promise project. And using the corner to corner. And there you have it, folks. The finished product. I cannot believe that I created this scarf. Man, I'm very, very happy with this scarf. Yeah, so what did y'all think? I really, really like the idea of teaching you guys this because I have gotten so much feedback from you guys saying that, you helped me, understand the corner to corner. And now since you guys have seen how to, form the corner to corner into a rectangular form so that you're able to create, a scarf, and you will find that you can create so much more with the corner to corner. Again, this is the traditional corner to corner. There are newer techniques. There are different variations. And I think I even mentioned it before. I have seen one person actually do a corner to corner in a circle, which is kind of crazy because you're thinking corner to corner doesn't have circles. But I think it's just the concept. It's the way that it's being done. That she's using the corner to corner method, but it is in a circular motion. And like I said before, there are so many different variations. Some of them I'm not crazy about, but I feel like this is the year of the corner to corner. Kind of like the Chinese horoscope when they be like, this is the year of the pig, this is the year when Pinky hooks the corner to corner. Like, I mean, we're just going to be like throwing up. From overfeeding ourselves with the corner to corner stitch. So yeah, I would love to know what you guys think about this. Now, again, you can customize this. You do not have to use the Mandela ombre yarn that I use, but I wanted to pay tribute to Barb using some pinks. I am pretty sure Barb is in pink heaven right now. She probably was laughing at me like, what is she doing with those fringes? Yeah, but anyway, so that is that. And you know what? I want to I I wanted to tell you guys this last year, but my mind was just all over the place. But what I never shared with anybody, with the exception of her husband Blair, I had told Blair when I finally got a chance to talk to him for the first time ever on the phone, or maybe I think I text him. But when people pass, right when they pass, like when it's still fresh, a lot of people will tell you, that like if your mom passed or your dad passed, they will say, I had a visit. They visited me in my dreams, or I've heard people say that they could be sitting there and they might be crying or something, and all of a sudden the scent of that person will just, like kind of just brush past them in the room. And I do believe, in the afterlife. I believe in the afterlife with, Jesus Christ himself. I do believe in that. And I know that many other religions, some believe in reincarnation, others believe in, like a different type of afterlife. Whatever the case is, I do believe that God allows the person who has passed a moment. This is just my belief that if they want to, I don't know if he allows them to visit, their loved ones or people that really, really are grieving, for that person. I would say after Blair had told me, and matter of fact, after the recording, when I announced Barb's passing, she did visit me. And it was the only time that she did visit me. She visited me in a dream, and it was in my old apartment last year that she came. Like, it was like, I don't even know. All I know is I was cooking in the kitchen, and I looked out into the living room, and Barb was there, and she had like a purse, and I don't remember letting the door open, like letting her in or something. Like she was there. And that flower chair that I normally sit in when I'm having my talks, she pulled the chair out and she was just like, let's see what you have here. And in the dream, I remember standing, like looking out, and I must have been washing dishes or something. And she starts pulling out from behind the chair all of these different granny squares. She was pulling out. She was just like, oh yeah, this'll do. Yeah, you should work on this. This'll do. And she never looked at me, but she was like just pulling out basically my whips. Barb had a love for granny squares too, as well. It was one of her favorite things to crochet, but just like most of us, it's a love-hate. She loved creating it, but then she hated sewing it together. I mean, who does like putting the assembly or, assembling granny squares together? In the dream, it was very, very clear. I could see her, and she just started pulling out different whips, that I didn't believe that was good enough, and she was like, this'll do. And then all of a sudden, I came from around the counter, and I kind of stood a distance away from her and just listened to her. And she said, I'm sorry, I can't stay much longer. She said, but I wanted to stop by and kind of look over, some things, and just, she said, I wanted to stop by before I leave. She said, I have some other places to go. She said, I'm sorry, I can't stay long. And in the dream, she picks up this handbag and she puts it on her shoulders. And I remember in the dream, it was like it was yesterday. I remember she turned around and she was just like, she said, you're going to be okay. She was just like, I gotta go. And I woke up. It was just like, I don't know. It was just like the only time that I got to meet her. And it was the craziest thing. That was my visit. And what's crazy is that if you guys go back, and I really do need to finish it. It's kind of finished, but it's not completely finished. If you guys remember last year, I did a segment where I said, do y'all know what this is going to be? And I had all these different pink granny squares. And eventually I did put them together. It's assembled. It's just missing the one last thing, you know, a handle. And that is pretty much one of my best pink creations, but I never did a tutorial for it because of that fiasco video from last year. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. But Barb had visited me, and I believe it was a visit. But she literally stopped by to kind of look at my whips and critique me, but not so much, I shouldn't say critique me, but I feel like, because I remember one of the key phrases she said is, this will do fine, this is fine, finish this, finish this. She literally went through my whips, and she was pulling them from behind my chair, that chair that I always sit in when I'm crocheting or having the talks with you guys. So I believe in my heart that even though there were events that happened last year that I just kept saying, oh, this is going to stop me or whatever, even after death, somehow she was able to still cheer me on and tell me to keep going. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you, Barb. And thank you to Blair, her husband. And yeah, thank you, you guys, for tuning in. It is amazing. God is amazing. I still miss her. And yeah, but what I feel right now and how I look is totally different from last year. And I never thought I would get back to this place. So anyway, that's it. That's the first edition of the Pinky Promise Tribute to Barb for 2024. I already have the second Pinky Promise lined up because next month's Pinky Promise it's not so much a tutorial, but it is going to be the pink giveaway. If you guys are new to this channel and you're like, now what's the pink giveaway? Last year on Barb's birthday, I revealed the winner of the pink giveaway. So Barb's birthday is, excuse me, in February. And so next month for the Pinky Promise, you know, a week before her birthday happens, I will be showing you guys what is going to be in the second annual pink giveaway. And that is, you know, in tribute to Barb's birthday. The drawing will happen on her birthday. Stay tuned for those dates. I will give you those dates eventually because pretty much we're almost in February, you know? So, I mean, my birthday's coming up, then Barb's birthday's coming up. So there's a lot to be, you know, like to look forward to. But yes, the pink giveaway. And that is when every single thing in the giveaway is pink. I don't care what kind of pink it is pink. And so, yeah, that's the official. That's how I plan on opening up all of my like giveaways like every year. The first giveaway will always be the pink giveaway. So that means there will never be a giveaway. Usually, well, I shouldn't say there will never be a giveaway. I mean, I thought about doing a giveaway for my own birthday, which is coming up, you know, in January, the end of January. But I figured we'll just do Barb. But anyway, yeah, so that's it. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all think y'all want to try to create this? Okay. Well, with that being said, thank you again for tuning in. Please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. This is a special edition. I need to see a lot of thumbs up. All right. And to Barb's family, Blair, Melissa, I cannot remember her other daughter and son's name? I'm sorry, I apologize. Baby Silas, thank you for tuning in. And I pray that, God is continuing to help you along through this journey. I know Barb is still here with us. But until the next time, everyone, take care of yourselves, love each other, respect each other, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.